Stone agrees with this plan.
Quill sighs heavily, but also agrees.
Oris doesn't care enough.
Stone looks at the group, Fizzbop though, and says, well, there's only one thing that I see an issue in this case, is the fact that I'm the one who has the most information, most likely on Bronze Cap, other than Theoden, and also I'm the only link you have into the Savage Lands, besides, or in the case of fight, if you have to be sent towards Bronze Cap. And if Dardishio comes up with a plan, you're gonna want me there, so... Unless you wish to wait for us until we return at Dardishio's palace, I mean, warn him, feel free, but then wait for us to return back and discuss with him what we're going to do from there. That might be the best option, especially because I do have some information waiting for me when we go back to the palace.
That might work. We can warn him and he can spend some time thinking on it while we find you.
That works.
Alright, so I take it everybody's,
Yeah, I'm going to the palace, if that wasn't clear.
Okay. Oris going to the palace, Fizzbop's going to the palace, Stone is going to look for his things.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, Quillith is going with them.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so, oh, that's your feet. I thought Daisy just randomly turned to displace her beast and appeared under the table. Blink dog. Alright, well, Quillith and Stone, you're off into the wild blue yonder. Except it's not really blue, it's more of a
Yellow.
beige color. So,
All right.
you get to traverse the thunder. You get to traverse the city.
The more or less docile beige yonder.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
since Quilla still has the token, I guess she can go ahead and deal with that.
Yeah. So how would I go about doing this? Like,
We'll use your perception as a scent.
okay.
So let's see if you can actually get the scent at all.
All right. All right. I forgot what my perception was. 9, 8. Okay.
I'll roll high, please.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it really would.
Curious if it was low.
I got a 28.
Thank
I got a
God.
natural 20.
Here's something interesting. The only scent on it is stones.
Well, fuck.
Oh, I'm sorry. That smell's gotta be really ragged. Or randy.
Rancid?
There we go. Well, it both works in this case, I guess, with stone.
Yeah.
A long suffering that. Oh,
So Zula sniffs the token and then just goes and sits right next to Stone. And Quill's just like, well, the only thing she can smell is you.
Stone looks at the dog. Jesus, what is that? Alright. Stone looks at the dog and says, what about having her sniff my crotch where the lady sat?
Bestiality is wrong.
What? What'd you say, Paul?
Bestiality is wrong.
Oh.
It only happened once and we needed a distraction, and it worked, to be fair. Stone looks at he's like, I'm wearing armor. Huh?
We also had to send a horse to therapy.
Pony. Let's not get our species mixed up here. And to be fair, Stone probably created a half-breed doing that, so. Stone looks at her and says, I've got armor on. If she can at least sniff that, she might be able to get a better sense of where the girl went.
Okay, so Zula's gonna sniff his legs. Oh, I thought I only got a 10.
Well, Zilla's able to determine one thing.
Stone
His
smells
armor-
really bad?
Actually, a stone doesn't smell terrible anymore. His man stink is gone. He actually just smells like lavender soap.
Lavender soap.
Where did I pass out last night?
and where can I pass out there again?
How did I end up smelling it? Wait, Stone's gonna look at Quill and say, what? Somehow I ended up back at the bar. What if they washed me? I mean, I really hate to think about it, but what if they did? My shit's waiting there.
She looks at the token. She's like, I don't think they'd leave a signature's, like a thief's words. I don't think they'd leave a thief's signature
But-
on you if all they did was take your things for
What
washing.
if that was a token that I got and I drunkenly walked out of there without getting all my stuff and returning this token to get my stuff? Stone just looks.
What?
Is there a bathhouse around here? Did I get molested and forcibly washed without my knowing? Did the girl think that I smelled that bad?
All right. Is there any way we can follow the lavender smell then? I guess.
You could try.
I'm just imagining this.
I'm going to tell you this.
Oh my god.
Anytime Zula smells lavender, I'm going to walk over and sit next to a lavender bush. I'll walk over and sit next to an oil shop. I'll walk over and sit next to some random guy.
Stone's gonna walk up to a. Well, okay. If she sits next to a random guy, Stone's gonna walk up to that guy and ask if there's like a bathhouse around the area that uses that scent, the scent at all.
Here, hold on, just a sec.
Okay. We are back then. Alright, Paul, we're ready to go again. So, Stone went up to the guy and asked, that smelled the lavender, if there's a bathhouse that uses that kind of soap in the area.
We didn't look for anybody yet. It was just like a hypothetical.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Alright.
I didn't know how common the lavender scent would be.
It's fairly common.
Okay, yeah. Then
We could head.
Quill's just like, we're a little out of luck.
Stone looks at her and says, "We could always head back to the bar and see if they happen to see who brought me in. If you want to head back to the palace while I head out and go find out this information, that might be best since you're not going to be much use for smelling things."
She eyes you warily, and she's like, you don't have the best track record for keeping yourself out of trouble.
Yeah, but it'll be easy to find me afterwards.
Just look for the blood stains.
I was gonna say.
Stone kind of looks at it and says, "Well, you're welcome to follow me," but he starts heading back towards the bar.
She glances between Stone and the rest of the group, and is just like, nah, and follows Fizzbop and.
Well, they already went back to the palace, I think.
Did they start leaving? Well, she jogs to catch up.
Okay. They're all on a pony. Well, on a wagon being carried by a pony.
Say that's a lot of
If
weight.
they were all on the pony, wouldn't be moving.
I don't know. I could probably get that pony to move pretty quick if I came by it.
No. Okay, moving on. You go back to the bar.
Stone's gonna walk up to the barkeep and ask if he happened to see who brought him in.
Barkeep just scratches his beard. He's like, well, let me think. It was pretty late last night.
Listen.
This,
Oh.
it was honestly a priest that just kind of collected you and brought you back, found you passed out in the middle of the street.
Did I smell of lavender at that point?
I didn't take the time to sniff you.
Stone looks out and says, "What
But
priest
why?
and what religion?" Out of curiosity.
I didn't bother to ask. It was either a priest or it was a monk. All I saw were very plain robes.
Has this ever happened before, where someone's been dropped off inside your bar or your longhouse, smelling of lavender?
Again, I don't know if you smelled like lavender. I don't make a habit of sniffing my guests. But every once in a while somebody will pass out outside and somebody will bring them back in, pay for the room.
Okay, do you happen to know anybody else who's had to go through this that would be, that I could find? I'm gonna find out where my shit went, Paul, damn it. I want that ring back.
What are you talking about what you've been through?
Like, I was drugged last night with the strong sleeping aid, apparently, by the gal that was talking to you at the bar.
Well, people come in, they request that stuff all the time.
Okay, do you happen to know who the girl was?
Listen, I know who she is. I can't really say much about her.
I'm just trying to get my shit back. Just tell me where I can start looking.
If you really want to find her, I would definitely suggest checking the slums. Start asking around for an information broker.
Oh,
That's all I can give you.
fuck, I'm gonna have to go to the slums. This is gonna be fun. You remember how Paul said follow the blood trail? You might have to do that here in a sec. Alright. Stone's going to go ahead and look at his pockets, feeling sad, and head back up to the palace for right now.
All right, wonderful.
Because it seems like I'm not getting anywhere, no matter what I try here.
Not right now. It'll take a little bit to get an information broker.
And probably a lot of gold that I don't have.
Yeah. Mr. Penniless Dwarf.
She stole it! I had 100 gold!
You don't even know it was her.
I know it was her. It had to be her. And when I burn this city to the ground, I'll kill her for it. But okay.
Everybody's at the palace now. By the time Stone gets there, it's about noon. And, well, one thing's become clear. There's a lot more guard activity. There's actually a line of Orcish guards that are having to turn their weapons in and get checked over. Most of these orcs usually get their weapons handed back to them and sent out to where they're supposed to be for the day. But it seems like most of the non-Orcish guards are in the district of the palace.
Racial profiling at its finest.
Oh, there's a good reason, I'm sure.
I take it the others are already in the palace when Stone's coming up?
Yep.
Do I happen to see someone holding scrolls for me or anything like that when I'm coming in?
No, you don't see anybody with scrolls.
Okay.
The only reason why you were let in is because the guy that was laughing at you and kind of goaded you into hitting the iron bars recognized you and said that you were good to go, and he stopped the guards from stopping you and turning you around.
Stone smiles and waves and walks in.
He just grins and waves back. Entertaining.
It's not worth hitting him for it.
Hi, Crispy.
He's all three: snap, crackle, and pop.
So,
all right. Well, so do you want to actually go into the palace, or?
Yeah, but I'm gonna head straight to wherever looks like a library and see if I can't gain access to it.
Right now, most of the other buildings, aside from residential areas, are being quartered off and searched.
Well, no, I mean inside the palace, like looking for a royal library.
Oh, inside of the palace, looking for the royal library.
Yeah.
You haven't found one. You haven't found one yet. If there is one, it's probably deeper in the palace.
Okay, then I'm just gonna go head up to where I'm assuming is the same hall we came in the first time.
All right. Well, you find your way up there. If you get lost, a guard comes by and just escorts you, and you're brought into the same room that housed the giant green emerald.
It taunts
Dardisio is there. Dardisio is there. So is the portly fellow. The portly fellow looks a little cowed, just kind of closer to a door. And Dardisio looks enraged.
Fantastic.
Stone walks in saying, "Oh, great! I bet I'm involved in this."
You need a hug.
Does Fizzbop actually say that?
Yeah.
He just stares at Fizzbop.
Hell.
Stone looks at him and says, "Well, I've got good news. One of your tokens has been stolen, along with my signet ring."
You're gonna lead with the oh god.
Well, Stone's an honest man. He says, "Even better news is we are dealing with a chance that there might be multiple armies invading Ocarthel. However, don't worry, I'm alive.
Well,
Oh, joy of joys! My prayers have been answered.
Well, they should be, because that means you've still got a man who controls 20,000 soldiers, so, and within to help you. And Stone also
All right.
tosses the hand cannon onto the table.
He looks down. What is this? Why is this on my table?
Bronze Cap is involved in this, so even better news. We might have an alliance between some of the Orcs of the Shards and Bronze Cap.
excuse me for a moment. Why don't we lead with the fact that we've cleared out that temple of cultists, or at least one of them?
Because we also missed one White Orc that's probably their lead figure, and I didn't
Shut
feel like
up,
mentioning
shut
that.
Up, shut up! Shut up!
Stone just kind of glares at her and says, you know...
Everybody, quiet. Please, just keep quiet. I'm going to start with the loudest individual in the room. Stone, tell me, what other information do you have?
Alright, starting off, Bronze Cap is most likely linked with the Orcs of the Shards. When we went to take out the Heretic group, the Orcs of the Shards are the ones that we found in there. A bunch of Black Orcs led by a female White Orc with a shaved side on her head.
That means she's likely a chieftain.
Yes, and she left her men to die there after cutting a hole in what I can guess is some sort of dimensional rift with a dagger. A very powerful dagger. She abandoned her men and left them. They didn't take any loot. As you can, Fizzbop can probably show you the loot we found. They didn't take any money, the gold we retrieved. They just killed these heretics. My guess is that this gun, or from what I can tell, the gun comes from Bronze Cap, which means he's most likely coming toward, or he's planning something with the Orcs of the Shards and plans to use them to invade while he takes the wall down with whatever he's been designing. That's the only reason for this man to have kept quiet so long, and currently that's very bad, because that could also mean he might be allied with my son, who's currently in control of Stonehold. Which means...
Let me say something. From what we understand, they weren't attacking the city, they were attacking the cultists. This is the only time we've seen them.
Well, that's very true, but at the same case, we don't know if that was just they're clearing out that area looking for something, or if it was going to be a staging area to invade. It was in a seedy part of town, and it wasn't exactly patrolled really well. So, I mean, there was a giant blood splatter, right outside the wall where we had to break into this hideout. And your guards didn't seem to notice it as we were sitting there. So I have a feeling Bronze Cap is coming here with the Orcs of the Shards, and if I don't get back to Stonehold quick, we might have a second army, or a third army to deal with. So, my reason for believing Bronze Cap might be wanting to invade is because, as you probably know, he's a descendant of Magni, and I've never known someone who worshipped that god to be exactly peaceful. And it's not like there's much love between Okarthel and the Savages.
Very well.
So,
moving along. Next, I want to hear from Quillith. What information?
What?
What information do you have? I want to hear anything you can tell me about these orcs, about the dwarves, anything from the Savage Lands, anything you might know.
Okie doke. Hold on just a sec. Let me pull up that email again so I can read what you said. I closed it. I've had it open this whole time and I closed it and then I needed it.
Of course.
Of course. Okay.
Of course.
Okay. So. Cool.
I love him, Bison.
Quill says, I took a moment to scout around the city. There was a short white orc that had a large white tiger with him, and he wore gray leathers. I also saw a mage, let's see, who resembles a wanted poster that I've seen. He was wanted for child abduction, murder, and torture. He had brown hair, long flowing robes, and an enchanted toad resting on his shoulder. He also had 2 children following him around. I was going to say something.
Sorry,
but then we got a shady information collector, and I didn't want to.
I know who the information collector is.
Wait, you do? Does she have my shit?
I don't know. I haven't seen her in 2 months.
Well, if you do know her, you might want to get in touch with her, because she might have one of your tokens of, well, you know, walking around the city, as well as a signet ring of mine. Quick question, out of character. Can I roll to see if I recognize the sounds of that mage? Or of this description?
Sure.
Alright, I take that's just a normal d20 with intelligence, or?
Yep.
Okay. 19, 18.
You recognize the description as Zacchaeus.
Now, are we still going with the original story where his son, is worth Leon?
Yes.
Stone just kind of smiles at the mention of the wizard.
Quill notices and looks at him and goes, "Do you know something?"
Yeah, he's a famous elf for doing gay magic, and I've got one of his sons who works for me. His name's Zacchaeus, and he's rather useless from what I recall.
She just kind of scowls. Well, he had 2 children that looked not right.
Stone just kind of laughs at the idea. He's like, well, if it's him, we don't have to worry much. He's an easy one to kill. However,
right.
His son that serves under my own personal son
We
is dangerous.
are getting off track.
Oh, sorry.
Quill clears her throat and says, "Sorry." She doesn't interrupt.
Very well. So we're working with potentially 2 white orcs that are leading another group of orcs. I can only think of one tribe that could get through the gate without much issue. I do not really wish to think that they have their eyes set on the city or anyone in this city, because that will inspire panic. Moving on. Urist,
Aye.
do you have any information?
I'm sorry, just thinking. We'll assume that this happens at the speed of thought rather than my speed of thought, which is very slow.
Oh, I forgot to have Quill mention this. The animals told her that dwarves and stuff were working together, but that's kind of a given now, I guess.
She could bring it up and reaffirm.
Oh, yeah. Then...
While Urist is thinking.
Okay. She said, "Oh, I also heard whispers from the wildlife that there were orcs and dwarves working together coming from the Savage Lands."
Stone just kind of grins there and says, "Shit, hell, I work with orcs." Oh, never mind. And shuts his mouth.
Anyway, okay, I've thought of what to say for Dardicia now.
Okay.
Well, to be perfectly frank with you, I wasn't there for most of the event. However, we have destroyed, or at least seen that the destruction of the Water Dragon Temple is complete under the city.
Well, that's wonderful at least.
Yeah, and there was actually this thing we wanted to bring up. I assume someone could have mentioned on the numerous times we've all been walking around about trying to claim the place, right? Is that reasonable to assume?
What?
Yeah, that's a reasonable thing to do.
Well, there was this concept we had. If you don't have any particular, desire or draw for the place, we were wondering if we might be able to use it as a base of operations as long as we're in the city. Clean it up a bit, that sort of thing.
Very well. I will allow this. I will allow this under one condition.
And?
You assist me in finding out what is happening within my city.
Done.
Stone looks and says no.
I won't allow. Well, okay. That being aside, if there's a threat to the people of this city, I won't allow it to continue.
All right, very well. Fizzbop, you're the group's leader, I assume.
Come closer to the mic.
I've pretty much described most of what we've discovered there. You see that gun on the table?
I do.
The area we came across was peppered with results from that. So it was not just one person wielding that. It was probably all of them. Even though we didn't see it personally, they came up wielding regular weapons when they approached us. I find that a little bit odd.
We found several firearms on the orcs there. Most of them had been discharged.
I see. Well, I don't have any additional information beyond what's been mentioned. I've lived here my whole life. I know very little about the Savage Lands. All I can say is probably a sweep of the area with a maid, see if there's any lingering traces. Arcanic energy. Maybe the point can be traced.
Stone's gonna pipe up at the mention of she doesn't know much about the Savage Lands and say, you know, that is something I forgot to say. The Black Orcs were from the Savage Lands. The White Orcs seemed like she was from the Shards. So, just a foremention.
All of this is
Distressing.
very, very distressing. There are two courses of action that could be taken. One, you all ride back to Stonehold. Get to Stone's Keep, see what information has been cropped up while I send scouts out to gauge the threat. Or you can stay and wait while the scouts go out, do their job, and come back.
Stone looks up at him and says, well, I have one question on this subject then. Does this mean that you're willing to ally with me to help me take out Bronze Cap if he is a threat?
If he is a threat, then yes, I will ally with you to eliminate said threat.
And in the end, you'll walk away from the Savage Lands and allow me to have my rule over it? It will not become part of Aramis?
I can guarantee you counsel with the Zarek of Aramis.
Okay. Because I have no interest in being part of your kingdom, but I also have no interest in conquering Aramis. My plans are for the Savage Lands and then the Shards, as of right now. And if it comes down to it, and if you are willing to work with me, I'd be more than happy to work out some sort of treaty to where both parties can benefit.
Very well.
Also, as a quick question on a side note of this, did anybody come with information on Sinrace, or the Church of Sinrace that was delivered information for me?
Not yet, but there are people scouring the old libraries within the temple.
Alright, thank you.
Of course. I will leave you all to decide. My steward will be taking care of
Oris
any...
raises two fingers to sort of get his attention before he leaves.
Yes, what is it?
There is something I wanted to discuss with you away from the rest of the party. It's just won't take but a few minutes of your time at most. Just a simple question.
Very well.
All right, so I'll walk with him or do whatever.
All right, he walks towards the back of the room to the large door that he usually enters from.
Mm-hmm.